Okay, we're back. Okay, now we are talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, now. Oh, Donald Trump got impeached again, y'all. I know y'all have heard it. So that means, okay, now he got impeached. Now they need to go to trial. Mitch McConnell said they're not going to go to trial for a week, so it's going to be a week. But he is going to trial. I'm like, how's that going to work? Is it going to run into the inauguration? Because today is the 14th. So what y'all about to do? Hello? What are y'all about to do? Anyways, so if he is found guilty, which I hope he is, every amenity or luxury that a former president gets, he will not be able to have access to that, nor will he be able to run for president again. So, because I think he said he wanted to run in 2024. So, I was listening to Rodney, and he was like, okay, if he can't run, what about his sons and stuff like that? So, it's a possibility, but like I was listening to Rodney's video this morning, there has to be more qualifications to become the president of the United States. Period. Full stop. If the qualifications are that you are 35 years old, you are a citizen, and that you have, if you are a new American citizen, you would have to be here for 3 years. I believe that's the case. Nothing else. There are more qualifications to be a beautician than it is to be the president of the United States. So I think the way that it's set up is it is built to allow mediocrity to slither into the office. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. But let's get into Salt Lake City. All right, so overall the episode was pretty good. They got some things, tried to get some things straightened out. I did miss one scene, so I probably did just skip over it. I think it was with Meredith. So it starts off. I was live tweeting, so these are where my notes are. So hopefully I remember what happened in the damn scene. I need to sit up. I'm leaning over like, girl. I need to sit up like I got some sense. Okay. Let's see. How did it start off? I don't know why I wrote no, Jen. The party was ruined because you lost control of yourself and made a choice to act like a donkey. Oh gosh, I don't remember the first scene. I think they were just talking about what happened at the party. Because Whitney came through and sprayed the scene. It was the wrong place and wrong time. Coach Shaw, I knew that he was mad at the end of the episode based on what Jen has shared with us in terms of her behavior and Coach Shaw basically telling her, get your shit together or I'm going to leave your ass. I could see why her behavior at this party would have upset him. But apparently, he hasn't spoken to her in a few days, which I don't think is right. I know that you're upset and I know that you're mad at your spouse, but leaving and not communicating, it'd be all the same if you came back home and she hung herself because she just couldn't deal with it. I'm sorry to be morbid, but you can't do stuff like that. You can't, especially knowing how out of balance she is. You understand what I'm saying? I think there needs to be a little bit more compassion, even though I think that her behavior is from childhood and it's never been corrected, like Whitney kind of said. But I said it too. I said it in like the first, probably the second review. Jen Shaw demonstrates behavior that wasn't corrected when she was a child, and she got to act out like that. I noticed that Jen Shaw uses phrases and rationale that people who abuse people use. If you don't remember when she was sitting at the table when they had that lunch with Mary, and she told the girls, now this was coming off the heels of the 20s party, I believe, and she told the girls, the only reason why I yell at you like that or why I get like that is because I care about my friends so much. And people say that the reason why I get abusive or I get violent is because I care about you so much. That's abusive. Then last night she said, to Whitney, you made me do it. You made me get upset like that. You made me throw the glass. You made me behave the way that I did because of what you told me. And that lack of personal power and personal accountability, like, first of all, you're giving away your power because you're letting us know that other people are able to control you based on their actions. They're able to control your emotions. That's a complete lack of power. And there's no self-awareness there for you as a almost like 40, mid 40, early 40s woman to still be operating in a place where you blame someone else for your response, for your reaction, for what you say. You are responsible for what. That's why I was so the way that I was with Monique and Candace. It don't matter what Candace said to her. Monique was responsible for her reaction. That could not be blamed on anybody else. You lose your power once you admit that someone else was able to make you act a certain way based on their actions in the story. So I noticed that is what's going on with Jen. I told y'all on the other review, I'm not really fond of her. I thought I was going to be fond of her. I thought she was going to be fun, lighthearted, silly acting girl, fashion and stuff like that. I thought she was going to be that, but her bad parts of her, I can't deal with that. I just really can't deal with that. I just knew that Coach Shaw was going to be pissed with that because Whitney did come through the party and spray the party. Yes, Whitney, that was a wrong time to do it. Even Mary told Whitney, well, she didn't really tell her. She just explained like, girl, I wouldn't have done that at the party. Jen was mad because she was like, I haven't thrown Sharrieff a party in almost 25 years, and you tell me this. And the fact that the mere mention of Mary makes Jen Shaw lose control, that's crazy. That's crazy. I could see you being triggered, like, girl, don't talk to me about that bitch. Get the fuck away from me with that shit. But and completely, get off center because of somebody else, you're just giving your power away. You just are. And it's just like, she definitely needs to be in therapy so she could learn how to manage her emotions and to stay centered, even when she is upset. Those things that you have to learn, especially if you have gone through your life and been allowed to behave this way over and over again. Again, when there's no consequence for the behavior, it doesn't do anything but continue, period. And that's with everything. And it's good behavior and bad behavior. When there's no consequence for good behavior, you're not going to get that good behavior again. There has to be a consequence for good behavior the same way it has to be a consequence for bad behavior. That's how we operate like that. That's why social media is so big, because people are rewarded right then and there for a good picture, and they're rewarded with a like, and that's how people get addicted, because of that consequence. It's a good consequence and it feels good for some people. Let me post another picture because it's something good that comes out of this. I get immediate gratification from something that I did. I get rewarded immediately for something that I did. It is very, very deep. But on to outside of online behavior, it's just, I feel bad for Jen. I have compassion for people who do like that, but you're too old. And then for her to be on camera doing this, it's like there has to be a problem. And you're going to have to get help for that. Hopefully she is. And then also mixing antidepressants or anxiety medication with alcohol. No bueno, girl. It's not that serious. Like, you could still have fun. You could have had maybe one drink. But I don't know how much she was drinking for her to completely lose control and to forget. Like, you forgot that this has been the first birthday party for your husband in 25 years. You forgot that. You decided to turn the party out. Not Whitney. Whitney didn't. All Whitney did was tell you what happened. But everything after that, that was your choice. Nobody has strings on you, Jen. You did that. You did that. And if you feel like somebody has strings on you, girl, go and get hypnotized or something, girl, because that's a mess. That is really a mess. Whitney was terrified to tell Jen. And then that's when Heather jumped in, right? And then Heather was like, "There's no way to avoid a blow up, right?" They were sitting down having, I think they were at her spa or whatever, her Medi spa, and they were just like, "There's no way to avoid a blow up." And I don't think that any of the women are scared of Jen. Let's be very clear. But we know the language that white women use when they are feeling a way about a person. They will use very words that are charged, right? They will use words that are charged, words that perk people up and make them listen, right? So I don't think any of them are scared. I think what they are doing is avoidance, and they don't want to deal with someone who reacts like that. I can't be in a relationship with you, whether it's from family to intimate and anything in between. When I say relationship, I'm not just talking about an intimate relationship. I'm talking about how you relate to people in your life every day. Those are relationships. You have a relationship with your children, your husband, your partner, your girlfriend, your banker, your Amazon man. That's a relationship. As soon as you come in contact with each other and engage with each other, no matter how long it lasts, you are relating to each other. That's a relationship. How do you deal with your relationships? And I feel like what they want from Jen is, I don't want you to blow up every time I'm trying to hold you accountable for something. That is going to make me not, one, talk to you, and resentful. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not gonna come to you as a friend, and I'm gonna avoid it, because I'm sure that you guys have had relationships like that with people where it's just like, I don't even want to say anything to them. They're my friend, but child, don't say nothing to them because they're going to start acting like a fool. And nobody wants to deal with that. And I think that's what Meredith and Lisa, while it seems very like they're putting them in classes, the way that Meredith and Lisa are acting, like this is the type of group I want to be around. Because later Meredith and Lisa went and had this nice luncheon with other women who are entrepreneurs and have businesses and stuff like that, and probably rich husbands and shit. And they were sitting there, and Lisa and Meredith were like, "This is what I like. I like to be around women who have some sense. I like to be around women who do not fly off the handle. I like to be around women who have some self-control." And that's what it is. That's the same thing that's going on. Like, you have to have self-control. Like, and that's just what it is. And if you don't, then you need to be practicing on how to have self-control. Especially if you're going to be on a reality show with where there's going to be conflict, and they're not going to let you avoid the conflict, right? Where in real life, if you don't want conflict, you typically avoid the person, right? I don't want to talk to the person, I'm not going to say anything. But here, and that's one thing that I love about reality shows, is that you have to sit across from each other and talk about it. You can't avoid the conflict, and that's what it is. And I think that's what's going on. I don't think anybody is really scared of her. I think it's just avoiding conflict, which is bad. I feel like it's not healthy to be in any relationship with a person where you're afraid to hold them accountable. And there's so many people, and I don't know if we need to expound on this, but there's so many people who feel like when you're holding someone accountable, that the only time to hold somebody accountable is when you don't like them. And if you do like them and they've done something wrong, you just give them a slap on the hand and go about and send them on about their way. I think so many people see accountability as a bad thing, when I've said before, I believe it is an act of love. I believe you care because you don't want whatever it was to happen again, or you care about the person. You're just like, listen, I think what you did was wrong, and what can we do to make sure it doesn't happen again? That's accountability. It doesn't mean that you don't like the person. It just means that you want them to be the best versions of themselves. That's how I see it, But I think I think so many people operate from that space, that accountability. If I hold somebody accountable, that means that I really don't care about them. I really don't like them, or whatever. I'm checking my posture. It was the wrong time for Whitney to tell her. It really was the wrong time. But like, again, she was drunk, and what good decisions do you make when you're that goddamn drunk? Meredith tells Lisa and her husband that her and Seth are going to, we're better than ever. She hit us with one of those. I don't believe Meredith. I hope, at least they're trying, because they look like a great couple. Like, she's like, we're really together. I guess they have been like, I guess they've just been married on paper, and they haven't been in a marriage, because he goes off, and she says they're going to figure out a way that they can be in the same house, you know. I don't know what Meredith's motivation is. I just don't believe it. It's something about it that I just don't believe. What do you guys think? Do you believe Meredith and Seth are just on the right track, or do you believe that she's just doing this because her son acted a damn fool at the fashion show and she was like, I can't have this? Like, what do you guys think? But she did say that because the children are out of the house now, that she really wants to work on the relationship with Seth. I don't know. I just don't believe her for some reason. But Lisa was basically, you know, Lisa is clear that Lisa doesn't like Whitney. She thinks Whitney is immature. She thinks she should work more on her dance. No, what she say? Work more on her. What did she say? Instead of dancing or something. She didn't like that she was dancing and flipping around and stuff like that. Lisa and Meredith are very much to which I say. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably why I like Whitney and Sarah. What's the girl's name? Heather. Whitney and Heather. I like them because they're more down to earth, right? They're not trying to be. Like, I feel like Meredith, and she talks very soft, and you know, and this. I was like, girl, speak up. But that's just who they are, honey. And, you know, Lisa is clearly that she doesn't like, and she doesn't like Heather, because you know that happened on the first episode where Heather, she acted like she didn't know who Heather was from school, then lied and said Heather was a good time girl. Heather was like, girl, when I got married, I was a virgin, so I don't know what the fuck you talking about. But they clearly don't like these girls. And another thing is that Lisa and Meredith still practice their religion, even though they were sitting at the table drinking. I think they are able to drink, but the way that it's monitored, I guess, something, I'm not sure. If you're Mormon, get down in the comment and let me know what's the rules for drinking, because they were drinking at the table. But you could tell that Lisa is over Heather and Whitney, and definitely over Jen. Now with Mary, we don't know what's going to happen with Mary. I don't know. Was Mary in the episode? Yeah, Mary was in the episode. Mary was in her closet. They showed all her closet, and she has a big closet and rooms, and she said she's going to get an apartment for her clothes. She has a lot of clothes. All I thought about was hoarders when I watched that. I felt like you would think, based on her closet and how much she has, that she didn't come from anything. Like, she feels like she has to hold on to stuff. And from what I understand, Mary has always had access to money based on her grandmother. So for her to have so much stuff like that, it's a little hoarder-ish to me. Yes, the clothes, like, how long are they holding value? And would they be more valuable if somebody else had access to them and they're just not sitting in a closet catching dust? Like, the shoes, like everything. I'm in the middle. I'm in the process of, on this minimalism thing, where I just really got rid of like probably 20 pairs of shoes in boxes that I haven't worn. I'm like, if you haven't worn them in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, why are you holding, unless they are a signed shoe or a limited edition shoe and you just want to hold on to it? Why are you holding on to those sandals, girl, from 10 years ago that you haven't worn once in 5 years? Why? Like, I don't understand that. To me, I was like, I couldn't, it's too much for me. I need all those clothes, get them out of here. It was just giving me so much anxiety. I was like, this is too much. It's too much. It just seems weird to me, but to each his own, child. So Whitney calls her and was like, so let me get this straight. And this is what you should have done the last time, Whitney. Girl, you took something from Mary and took it right over to Jen. Instead of saying, girl, Mary said that you, and going to Lisa and to Lisa and Meredith, girl, Mary said that you guys are scared of Jen. Is that true? She was telling me that y'all was scared. They probably would have said, no, girl, we're not scared of that bitch. We just don't want to be around that bitch. Every time we say something to her, it's a goddamn firecracker. So no, we're not scared of that bitch. We just don't want to tell her anything because she acts out of control. I'm sure they would have said that because to me, Lisa doesn't seem like she's scared of anybody. Now, Meredith, she might give you, oh my God, woe is me, white woman. You know what I'm saying? But Lisa, she might do it when she needs to. You know what? White woman knows how to weaponize her tears quick, baby. But I had a friend tell me that they learned to cry on cue. That's what my friend told me. Her mom taught them how to cry on cue in case they needed to weaponize their tears. White people are they're a trip. Um, so yeah, so they're sitting in these raggedy ass bathtubs, child. I don't know what this damn spa they went to. It was a mess. I was looking like, girl, what is this? It really looked like a scrap yard Sanford and Son type energy it was giving you. I have my foot up thing. That's why I keep leaning on my leg. But I did notice that Heather was talking about basically how in that tub, right? Okay, so first they got to the tub already. I know I'm skipping over. I'm just going on my notes. They're sitting in these tubs in this spa. Jen was like, okay, I'm gonna go. So maybe she'll apologize to me. Maybe she's gonna be taking me to this place where we'll have 24 karat, face mask or whatever like that. So they're sitting in the tub. Jen goes off again. She tells Whitney, you made me do it. We already talked about that. Then she breaks the fourth wall. She takes the water and out of the little tub and she swings it like that. And then the producer says, why would you wet the camera? And she breaks the fourth wall and she says, well, why would you guys film us while I'm in water? So that means I'm blaming you for filming me while I'm in water, because when I lose control over myself and splash water out of the tub, that's your fault. You shouldn't film me in water if you don't want water on your camera. Y'all not gonna tell me that's problematic as fuck and toxic as fuck. That shit is toxic as fuck. No way. I don't want to be around nobody like that. I'm too old for that shit. Like, no, girl, you don't have no control over nothing you do. It's the cameraman's fault for filming you in the tub, and so that's why he got water on the camera. And it's also Whitney's fault for telling you about what Mary said, and that's why you threw the glass. Girl, get your shit together. Like, for real. Like, that's not cool at all. But I loved that Heather explained to Jen that she has always been the get-along girl. And I'm sure there's a lot of people, a lot of women especially, who will agree that some of us learn to be people pleasers, right? And some of us learn to our detriment to be people pleasers. And we sit there and we people please, and then we're resentful when we don't get, when it's not reciprocated or when it's not appreciated. Hello, okay? People, we learn that, right? And then as you grow and become self-aware, you learn that the way that I can avoid being resentful, the way that I can avoid looking for something in return, is to draw boundaries with people and learn how to say no, okay? Learn how to say no. It's very hard, but it is a complete sentence. And learn how to set boundaries with people. Heather basically said that she was a people pleaser. What happens is when you start drawing boundaries with people who have been able to just run through you, they don't like that because they're used to you not having boundaries. And when you grow up, or when you become more self-aware and say, hey, I could avoid these feelings if I drew a boundary with this person, right? Because people will try you, and it's just natural. People will try you, and they're only going to do what you allow. They're only going to do what you allow, right? And I think it was really great for Heather to say, I didn't want to say anything to you because keeping you as a friend is more important, but I needed to I need to be able to tell you how I feel without you going off. Now, a people pleaser would allow Jen's behavior to continue. Someone with clear boundary would say, hey girl, I know you like to throw shit, but you're not gonna, between you and I, we're not doing that. You can do it with other people, even though I think it's out of order, but you can't do that with me and expect us to continue our friendship. Period. That's a boundary. And that's letting the person know if you act a certain way, there's a consequence to your behavior. Period. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So at the end of the day, Meredith and Lisa, they went on with their friends. The girls went on together. Um, to me, I feel like if you draw a boundary with someone and they get mad at you and they go off, they weren't supposed to be there in the first place. And that's how I feel. Anyways, y'all, oh, Jen Shaw and Coach Shaw, they talk, and he comes home and he said, "I was about to be over." He comes home and he just is basically giving her a pep talk. She's basically saying, I can't deal with these pep talks. I'm really sad. I'm mad at you. All of these things. He's like, I didn't know. How could you not know? Like, how could you be so disconnected from your wife that you don't think that you being gone for days at a time is going to affect her? Like, come on. Like, so I'm glad she was able to express herself to him. I think they do need therapy. I think she needs individual therapy. I think she needs to learn how to take her power back. Because giving your power away to people by saying your actions and your emotions are driven and fueled by what somebody else does, girl, get your power back. All right? Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.